Konoha. I upgraded Sage Mode to Immortal Cultivation Technique. Chapter 41. Ghost Dang Wuyu is the target that the split body is about to pretend to be. Therefore, Yi Yu not only wants to obtain his hydration technique. Yi Yu needs to figure out all his other ninjutsu, memories, personality, and habits. Over time, the memories of Gui Dang Wuyu's life were presented one by one in Yi Yu's mind like a slideshow. For ordinary memories, Yi Yu just glanced at them casually. What he focused on was some memories of Kaiden Mizuki learning the water transformation technique and other ninjutsu. Half an hour later, Yi Yu read all of Gui Dang Wuyu's memories. At the same time, Ghost Lantern Wuyu slowly opened his eyes. Without the support of Kaiden Mizuki's chakra, Mist Shinobi technique has been lifted. The thick fog that filled the surrounding space dissipated within half an hour. Okay, you can become like this guy. Ghost Dang Wuyu opened his mouth and said to the split body. Soon, the appearance of the split body changed into a ghostly appearance at a speed visible to the naked eye. I share all of this guy's memories with you. I will also learn all his ninjutsu later. From today on, you are a ghost. Your purpose is to lurk in Kurigakur and learn Kurigakur's other ninjutsu. Having said this, Yi Yu paused for a moment. He remembered Kurigakur's fifth Mizukage, Terumi Mei. Terumi Mei has two blood inheritance limits, lava style and boil style. Yi Yu naturally wanted to get these two blood inheritance limits. At this time, Terumi Mei should be about the same age as him. You don't have to worry about Terumi Mei. I will go find her in person when I have time. After listening to Yi Yu's words, the split body, oh, no, Gui Dang Wuyu activated the Flying Thunder God technique and disappeared into the space of the first ball. Ghost Dang Wuyu, who is in the spiritual world, naturally sees and hears everything in front of him. Seeing the split body transform into his own appearance, and then hearing Yi Yu's words, Gui Dang Wuyu's heart was shaken. At this moment, he didn't know that the kid from Konoha in front of him had completely replaced him with the guy who had just become him, lurking in Kurigakur. At this moment, he imagined an inner drama involving spies lurking, sowing discord, Mist Shinobi civil war, foreign enemy invasion, and ultimately triggering the Third Ninja War. If Yi Yu knew Gui Dang Wuyu's inner thoughts at this time, he would definitely say lightly, "You think too much." Yi Yu already knows all the memories of Gui Dang Wuyu, so there is no need to keep him anymore. He directly used the original function of Lingua technique to kill Gui Dang Wuyu's soul. After killing Ghost Dang Wuyu, Yi Yu's soul returned to his body. The next step is to become proficient in the liver hydration technique. 3 days later, a huge pool appeared somewhere in the space of the original sphere. This pool was specially created by Yi Yu for the liver hydration technique. In Gui Dang Wuyu's memory, he practiced the water transformation technique, which he practiced in water. And Yi Yu also immersed his entire body in water according to the cultivation method in Gui Dang Wuyu's memory. While practicing according to the secret method, the system's mechanical notification sounds continued to sound in his mind. Ding, congratulations. Host hydration technique proficiency +1. Ding, congratulations. Host hydration technique proficiency +1. I thought it would be difficult to master the liver hydration technique, but I didn't expect that just lying in the water would be enough. It's just a pity that the water transformation technique is the same as the spirit transformation technique. It can only be practiced with its own body and cannot be accelerated by using multiple shadow clone. Yi Yu lay in the water and thought leisurely. Suddenly, two chakras appeared in Yi Yu's perception. One of them was his own chakra, and the other was a very unfamiliar one. Obviously, another split body has brought back the target. Yi Yu immediately got out of the water. Just out of the water, Yi Yu's entire body looked like a liquid robot in the Terminator. It was only a human-shaped outline made of condensed water, with no appearance. But soon, Yi Yu returned to his original appearance. When Yi Yu used the Flying Thunder God technique and arrived at the location of the split body, he saw that the split body had brought back a Sand Shinobi. This time, there were no surprises. This Sand Shinobi is just a very ordinary ninja from Sunagakur. As usual, Johan uses the spiritualization technique, reads his memories, and learns his ninjutsu. Finally, let the split body take on his appearance and replace him. After doing all this, just when Yi Yu was about to use the spiritualization technique to kill the sand shinobi, he suddenly stopped. Wait, it's too wasteful to kill him like this. You can use him as a sacrifice to increase the proficiency of impure world reincarnation. The forbidden technique scroll traded with Orochimaru contains impure world reincarnation. It's just that impure world reincarnation is very troublesome to practice. Yi Yu has been busy practicing the spiritualization technique and the flying thunder god technique. Impure world reincarnation did not start. Now, there is a sacrifice, sand shinobi. The flesh and blood of the dead are also there, the ghost lamp has no moon. All the materials are complete, just enough to increase the proficiency of impure world reincarnation. Summoning technique, impure world reincarnation. Yi Yu clapped his hands. The next second, a complex black runic array suddenly appeared on the ground beneath his feet. The rune circle surrounded sand shinobi. Soon, a large amount of filth poured out from the rune circle and spread along sand shinobi's legs toward his body. After a few breaths, sand shinobi's entire body was completely covered in dirty soil. At the same time, the appearance of sand shinobi has undergone earth-shaking changes. I saw sand shinobi transformed into a ghostly figure, except that there were cracks all over his body, and his whole body seemed to collapse at any time. Under Yi Yu's control, the dirty ghost Dang Wuyu opened his eyes. What's going on? Am I dead? The dirty ghost Dang Wuyu looked at Yi Yu in front of him with a blank look on his face. He clearly remembered that he was killed by Yi Yu. You have been resurrected. Yi Yu looked at the dirty ghost lamp without the moon and answered casually. Resurrection? How can? Dirty earth ghost Dang Wuyu was just about to say, how is resurrection possible? But before the word, can, was uttered, he noticed that his hands were different from those of normal people. There were cracks all over the palms of his hands. At this moment, he understood something. The expression on his face suddenly froze, and the words he was about to blurt out also stopped abruptly. Immediately afterwards, Wei Dang Wuyu looked angry. Second Hokage's reanimation jutsu. You guy, you don't even want me to die. Without waiting for Kaiden Matsuki to finish his words, Yi Yu directly lifted the reanimation jutsu. He brought out the impure world reincarnation on impure world reincarnation solely to increase the proficiency of impure world reincarnation. Impure world reincarnation's proficiency is now +1. If there is no moon in the dirt, there is no need for ghosts to exist. The split body disguised as Oni Tumazuki is still lurking in Kurigakure. If he sends the dirty ghost Dang Wuyu out to fight, once he is recognized by others, then there will be problems on the split body side. In order to cause unnecessary trouble, it would be better for the ghost Dang Wuyu to disappear. The moment that reanimation jutsu was released, the body of Hatsuki Todo Muzuki collapsed. In the end, only a pool of dirty soil was left on the ground, plus Sand Shinobi's body. How many sacrifices will it cost to fully increase the proficiency of impure world reincarnation? It seems that if you encounter an enemy in the future, you must spare his life. In order to obtain more sacrifices to increase the proficiency of impure world reincarnation, Yi Yu became extremely active in Anbu in the following period. This made Yi Yu's teammates in Anbu feel very strange. After all, before this, except for missions, it was difficult for them to see Yi Yu. In the past few days, Yi Yu came to Anbu every day, not only completing the tasks of his own team, but also rushing to complete the tasks of other teams. Fortunately, there is no such thing as human head in Anbu in Konoha. This made the members of Anbu not only not suspect that Yi Yu was robbing them, but also thanked Yi Yu for helping them. In the initial ball space, Yi Yu looked at the 21 enemies he had sent in with a look of dissatisfaction on his face. Only 21, which is still a bit small. Yi Yu talks a little, but is not slow at all in action. He came to a spy who wanted to sneak into Konoha. Without any hesitation, he clapped his hands directly. Summoning technique, impure world reincarnation. A few seconds later, Wei Dang Wuyu found that he was resurrected again. Maybe it was a resurrection experience. This time Wei Dang Wuyu was resurrected. He did not speak, but looked at Yi Yu with very complicated eyes. Yi Yu had no intention of communicating with impure world reincarnation and immediately cancelled impure world reincarnation. Just don't wait for Wei Dang Wuyu to rest in peace. Wei Dang Wuyu found that he was resurrected again. What on earth do you want to do? Why do you keep resurrecting me? This time, the dirty ghost lamp Wuyu couldn't bear it anymore and cursed angrily. I'm practicing impure world reincarnation. Yu didn't care about the people who came out of impure world reincarnation scolding him, he told the truth. Then you can't practice with another person. Why do you keep using me to practice? After saying no, Johann released the reanimation jutsu. Next, Johann releases the reanimation jutsu over and over again. And Gui Deng Wuyu lived and died again and again. At the same time, the system's mechanical beep sounded continuously in Yu's mind. Ding, congratulations. Host reanimation jutsu proficiency +1. Ding, congratulations. Host reanimation jutsu proficiency +1. After all 21 sacrifices were used up, Yu let Ghost Lantern Wuyu rest in peace. Of course, just a temporary rest. If there are new sacrifices later, he will let Gui Deng Wuyu come back. Ghost Deng Wuyu, I really thank you. Time passed quietly between Yu's continuous improvement of proficiency and the execution of Anbu's mission. In the blink of an eye, 2 years have passed. In the past 2 years, Yu has not only raised the proficiency of reanimation jutsu to the full level. Moreover, he has also raised his proficiency in a series of ninjutsu such as spiritual transformation technique and water transformation technique to the full level. In addition, under Yu's continuous daily practice of chakra cultivation method, his chakra amount has reached more than 100 times what it was before he obtained chakra cultivation method. A proper humanoid-tailed beast. If someone uses their perception ability to perceive Yu, they will definitely exclaim, monster. In fact, some people have indeed sensed Yu's chakra. This person is none other than Yu Hong. In the past 2 years, Yu Hong has come to Yu frequently. Every time Yu uses the spiritual transformation technique to enter her body and turn on her perception ability, Yu Hong can clearly perceive Yu's increasing amount of terrifying chakra. This also leads to the fact that every time Yu enters Yu Hong's body, Yu Hong will exclaim, "It's so big." Yu Hong also asked, Yu, why is your chakra amount so large? Yu's answer is, born. Beginning of space, Kagaya Palace. The grass pheasant sword was suspended steadily in midair, and Yu was sitting cross-legged on it. Looking from a distance, it seemed as if Yu was sitting in the void. With his current terrifying chakra power, it would be easy to ride the sword and ride on the wind, and be at ease in the world. In addition, when he enters and exits Kagaya's space, he no longer needs to use Flying Thunder God technique to save chakra, he can just use space movement. Scorpion takes action against third case cage. Yu looked at the information in his hand and his expression moved slightly. This information was naturally sent by the split body lurking in Sunagakur. In the past 2 years, the split body not only learned the ninjutsu that the 4 major ninja villages could learn, but also sent back some information that Yu was interested in. Yu knew that Scorpion would kill the third case cage and make him into a puppet. Therefore, in the past 2 years, Yu's split body has paid special attention to Scorpion's movements. Just recently Scorpion took action against third case cage. The third ninja war is finally coming. After the second ninja war ended, the conflicts between the 5 major nations did not disappear. On the contrary, the conflicts among the 5 major countries are getting deeper and deeper. Over the years, the major ninja villages have been accumulating strength, waiting for the opportunity to deal a painful blow to their opponents. But this opportunity never appeared. But now, the opportunity has arisen and the third case cage is dead. The third case cage is known as the strongest case cage. His death not only weakened Sunagakur's power, but also plunged Sunagakur into civil strife. This is the best time to take action against Sunagakur. In the original drama, the third ninja war did indeed break out completely during this time. For more than 2 years, Yu has been working hard to improve his proficiency in various ninjutsu and become stronger. The original purpose was to increase the chances of survival in the third ninja war. And now, the third ninja war is finally coming. The third ninja war is about to begin, and Jiraiya is expected to be back soon. When he returns to the village, I'll go find him and learn Sage Mode. Yu has great expectations for Sage Mode. He really wants to know what Sage Mode will be upgraded to after raising the proficiency of Sage Mode to the full level. After reading Sunagakur's information, Yu looked at another piece of information. This information was sent from Cloud Shinobi Village. Information shows, the second tail is about to replace Jinchuriki. 2 tails. Yu thought of the big cat, and then glanced at the huge empty palace. He suddenly became interested in her way. Maybe we can catch the big cat and look at the gate. I don't know if the big cat has any impression of this Kagaya space and this Kagaya palace. The second tail is part of 10 tails. And 10 tails and Kagaya are one. That's why Yu wondered whether Erwei knew about this Kagaya space and whether he knew about this Kagaya palace. With Yu's current strength, he is confident in dealing with Erwei. But it's still quite troublesome to transfer a behemoth like Erwei to this Kagaya space through space movement. The simplest method is to use summoning technique to summoning the second tail. The easiest way to summoning 2 tails is to use Sharingan and manipulate her directly. At the moment, Yu has not obtained Sharingan yet. However, just like when he first gained the perception ability, Yu had already chosen a target to gain Sharingan proficiency. This person is none other than Uchiha Izumi, a contemporary of Uchiha Itachi in the original drama. Although Uchiha Izumi was only 4 years old like Uchiha Itachi at this time, there was no need to activate Sharingan. But Yu will help her open Sharingan. It makes sense to start Sharingan at the age of 4. In the original drama, Uchiha Izumi opened Sharingan after learning that her father died at the hands of Nine Tails during the Nine Tails Rebellion. At that time, Uchiha Izumi was 5 years old. This means that Uchiha's talent is already very strong. If Yu wants to let 4-year-old Uchiha Izumi start Sharingan, she doesn't need to prepare anything extra. She just needs to let Uchiha Izumi receive a certain amount of stimulation. But Yu couldn't really kill Uchiha's father in order to help her open Sharingan. So Johan plans to use Genjutsu on Uchiha Izumi. Can Genjutsu help the Uchiha clan unlock Sharingan? The answer is yes. In Itachi Shinden, 7-year-old Uchiha Sasuke witnessed the entire process of Uchiha Itachi killing his parents in the Tsukuyomi world, thus starting Sharingan. This shows that if the illusion is real enough and powerful enough, it can also enable the Uchiha family to activate Sharingan. Johan doesn't know Tsukuyomi though. But he has a blood inheritance limit that can control the 5 senses of others. In the past 2 years, every time Yu entered Yuhihong's body, in addition to helping Yuhihong enhance her perception, he also used the illusion that Yuhihong was best at. After that, Yu raised the proficiency of the illusion to the full level, and the illusion was automatically upgraded to the blood succession limit, dominate the 5 senses technique. This limit of blood inheritance is exactly the ability of Kurama Yakumo, Kurenai Yuhi's disciple in the original drama. It can cause people who have fallen under the illusion to suffer real harm. Naturally, it can also cause people who have fallen under the illusion to experience the most real pain and despair. Yu plans to use the Control 5 Senses technique to create an illusion to help Uchiha Izumi activate Sharingan. Uchiha, who has a beauty mark under her eye, is practicing shuriken technique at the training ground as usual. Suddenly, a young man appeared in front of him. This young man is none other than Yu. Manipulate the 5 senses technique. Yu silently activated the Genjutsu on Uchiha Izumi. Fantasy world. Uchiha is still at the training ground, and Yu is still in front of her. Everything around him is exactly the same as the real world, as if it was copied and pasted without any changes. At this moment, even an experienced ninja may not know that he has unknowingly entered the world of illusion. Not to mention, Uchiha Izumi, a 4-year-old girl. Uchiha Kwanmei showed a polite smile to Yu, and then went home. Time passes little by little in the fantasy world. 2 months passed in the blink of an eye, and the third ninja war broke out. All ninjas in the village who are Chunin and above must participate in the battle. Uchiha Izumi's father also went to the battlefield with him. Although Uchiha is only 4 years old, she already knows the cruelty of war. Every day, she and her mother worry about her father and hope that he will come back safely. Half a year later, Uchiha Izumi's father returned safely. The moment she saw her father coming back, Uchiha felt extremely happy. In this way, the family once again lived a happy and beautiful life. But suddenly one day, the whole village fell into chaos, with screams and shouts everywhere, and a very depressing atmosphere filled the air. Even the sky was an unusual blood-red color. Uchiha Azumi's father returned home in a hurry. Azumi's mother asked, "What happened?" Azumi's father said, "It's Nine Tails. Nine Tails has run out and is wreaking havoc. Master Third Hokage has given an order. We have to stop Nine Tails." Azumi's mother's face was full of worry and she hesitated to speak. Kwanmei's father touched Kwanmei's head and smiled gently at mother and daughter. "Don't worry, I will be back soon." After saying that, Azumi's father left the house. Kwanmei looked at her father's leaving figure, and her heart suddenly felt empty, as if something was about to leave her. 2 long hours passed. The Azumi family received bad news. Her father died in the war. At this moment, Kwanmei felt extremely painful. The next moment, Uchiha's eyes changed. I saw that the original black eyes turned scarlet. Above those scarlet eyes, 2 Tomo appeared. As soon as you open your eyes, it's 2 Tomo Sharingan. At the same time, the illusion was lifted. The world in Uchiha's eyes has undergone earth-shaking changes. Everything in front of her disappeared, replaced by the training ground she was familiar with. And in front of her, there was still the boy she had never seen before. Uchiha just glanced at Yu and then fainted. At only 4 years old, he has double Magatama eyes as soon as he opens his eyes. This talent is really good. However, this memory must be sealed for you. Yu was too lazy to write the plot, so he directly compiled what happened in the next year of the original play into a fantasy to stimulate Uchiha Azumi's eyesight. Although in this world, there is the great Toad Sage who has the ability to predict the future. But for the sake of safety, he still sealed this memory of Uchiha Azumi. Uchiha Azumi's Sharingan is on. Then it's my turn to brush up Sharingan's proficiency. The moment Uchiha fainted, Yu used space movement to return home. Immediately, he cast the upgraded version of spiritual transformation technique, and his soul entered Uchiha Azumi's body. From the time Yu used space movement to return home to when his soul entered Uchiha Azumi's body, it only took a blink of an eye. Because all this happened so fast, when Yu took control of Uchiha Azumi's body had not completely fallen to the ground. If there were any passers-by here at this time, they would see Uchiha Azumi's body starting to fall to the ground for a moment, and the next moment, her body stood up in a chic posture. Stabilizing Uchiha Azumi's body, Yu came to Uchiha Azumi's spiritual world. I saw Uchiha Azumi's soul in a coma. After sealing Uchiha Azumi's memory of the fantasy world, Yu once again took control of Uchiha Azumi's body. I saw Uchiha Azumi's eyes slowly closing. The next moment, his eyes suddenly opened. Sharingan. I saw the originally black eyes instantly turned into scarlet 2 Tomo Sharingan. Although when turning on Sharingan, you first close your eyes and then open them, and shout, Sharingan, in conjunction, this feeling is very powerful and emotional. But Yu still couldn't help but complained in his heart. The main reason is that Sharingan is not proficient enough. Otherwise, there is no need to close and open eyes again when opening Sharingan. The moment he turned on Sharingan, Yu's vision changed drastically. First, and most obviously, vision is greatly enhanced. If before turning on Sharingan, Yu's vision was 0.5. After turning on Sharingan, Yu's vision was through the use of a microscope. When observing anything, every detail is revealed. Is this Sharingan? As if he had gotten a new toy, Johan used Uchiha Azumi's Sharingan to observe everything around him. At the same time, the system's mechanical notification sounds continued to sound in Yu's mind. Ding! Congratulations! Host experience Sharingan proficiency +1. Ding! Congratulations! Host experience Sharingan proficiency +1. Yu, who has had several experiences, knows that when the proficiency of experience Sharingan reaches the full level, he will truly obtain Sharingan. Therefore, Yu didn't pay attention to the system's beeps and focused all his attention on what Sharingan observed. We need to find someone to observe. When Sharingan observes dead objects, there is nothing special except that he observes them more clearly and carefully. Yu quickly lost interest and decided to find someone to observe, preferably someone who was fighting. After all, one of Sharingan's most basic abilities is to observe the flow of other people's chakra and thereby copy other people's ninjutsu. Yu turns on his perception ability. Soon, Yu's perception covered the entire Konoha, and spread in all directions at an astonishing speed. 2 years have passed, and Yi's perception ability has naturally been greatly enhanced. As long as Yi is willing, he can cover the entire kingdom of fire with his perception, and this is fine perception. If his perception is vague, he can also stand in the ancestral hall of Konoha and perceive places thousands of miles away like the second Hokage and the fourth Hokage. As Yeyu's perception continued to spread, many chakras appeared in his mind. Soon, Yi discovered several chakras fighting in the forest outside Konoha village. Without any hesitation, he immediately injected part of his power into Uchiha Izumi's body. Just like Uchiha Obito lent his double Kamui and Six Paths chakra to Kakashi. Uchiha Izumi immediately gained part of Yohane's power. Immediately, Yi controlled Uchiha Izumi's body and activated space movement, and her body disappeared instantly. When Uchiha Izumi appeared again, she was already in the forest outside Konoha village. I saw 5 Konoha Anbu members wearing masks, chasing and intercepting 2 ninjas dressed as rock shinobi. I'll stop them, you go quickly. While running away, one of the rock shinobi just stepped on the trunk of the big tree with his feet, then turned around and rushed towards the 5 Konoha Anbu who were chasing him. Another rock shinobi just glanced at his companions with a look of unbearable expression, but his actions did not stop at all and continued to escape. Konoha Anbu's cooperation was also quite tacit. Seeing that one of the enemies stayed behind and the other continued to escape, they also divided into 2 people to continue the pursuit. 2 and 3 people rushed towards Rock Shinobi and killed him. Fire style, dragon fire technique. An Anbu quickly formed a seal with his hands. After the seal was completed, a beam of flames seemed to be sprayed from a spray gun and swept directly towards the Rock Shinobi who was rushing towards him. Earth style, earth flow wall. Facing Konoha Anbu's fire style attack, Rock Shinobi reacted very quickly. He immediately landed on the ground and slapped his palms against the ground. A thick earth wall rose from the ground in an instant. The clustered flames impacted on the thick earth wall, causing the temperature of the surrounding air to soar in a straight line. Yi, who had just been teleported over, happened to see the scene in front of him. Earth style wall. The splinter body lurking in Iwagakure has learned it in the past 2 years. Yi didn't pay attention to this rock shinobi. His eyes were fixed on the Konoha Anbu who released fire style. Under Sharingan's vision, Anbu's hand gestures seemed to have slowed down many times. Yi could clearly see every detail of the seals formed by his hands. At the same time, the chakra in his body was flowing, and Yi could see it clearly. That's it, this is Sharingan, this is copy. Yi has already copied Anbu's fire style, dragon fire technique through Uchiha Izumi's Sharingan. Without any hesitation, Yi manipulated Uchiha Izumi's hands and quickly formed a seal that was exactly the same as that of Anbu. Just when the clustered flames were about to sweep out, Yi used space movement again and came in front of the escaping rock shinobi. Fire style, dragon fire technique. The escaped rock shinobi was still thinking about how to get rid of the 2 Konoha Anbu who were chasing him. He was faced with a beam of high temperature and high pressure flames that washed his face. Before he could scream, his body was cremated. After releasing the fire style that he had just used Sharingan copy, Yi looked satisfied. He glanced at the 2 Konoha Anbu who were chasing after him, and their figures disappeared into thin air. What happened? Who just unleashed fire style? One of the Anbu, who landed where the flames were, asked aloud. I didn't see clearly. I only saw a pair of breathtaking eyes in the firelight. Those eyes were the Sharingan of the Uchiha clan. Another Anbu member shook his head and said. Uchiha Kwanmei woke up leisurely and heard a strange voice in her mind. You're awake. Immediately afterwards, Uchiha found herself in a golden world. And standing next to her was the young man she saw before she fell into coma. This is where Uchiha seemed to have just woken up. She sat on the ground and rubbed her eyes habitually with her little hands. This is your spiritual world. Uchiha is not Yuhi Kurenai. She is too young, only 4 years old, and doesn't understand many things. Yi had no choice but to explain patiently. My spiritual world. Uchiha tilted her head and looked at Yi, still confused. Yi was about to explain, but her attention quickly shifted to other things. She found that the world in her eyes had undergone earth-shaking changes. Everything you see is extremely clear and detailed. As this, Sharingan. Although Uchiha Izumi is only 4 years old, her mother has been telling her about the Uchiha clan and Sharingan since she can remember. Of course, she knew Sharingan. And, like most Uchiha people, they are proud to open Sharingan. I turned on Sharingan. Uchiha Izumi knew that she had awakened Sharingan, and she seemed extremely happy. Yes, you have opened Sharingan, and when you open your eyes, there are double Magatama. I'm going to tell my father and mother that I drive a Sharingan. Seeing the childish nature of Uchiha, Yu just smiled and shook his head, and then released the spiritual transformation technique and his soul returned to his body. But as soon as Yu left Uchiha Izumi's body, Uchiha Izumi's Sharingan automatically turned into normal eyes. During the time when Uchiha was in coma, Yu kept driving her Sharingan in order to improve her proficiency in Experience Sharingan. If she had the little chakra she had, she would have run out of chakra just like Kakashi. During this period, her Sharingan consumed Yu's chakra. Yu left her body, and Yu's chakra also disappeared. Since Uchiha Izumi's Sharingan is original, due to the body's protective mechanism, as soon as Yohane's chakra disappears, her Sharingan returns to a normal eye state that does not require chakra consumption. The next day, when Yu's soul entered the little girl's body again, the little girl complained to him that she couldn't turn on Sharingan anymore for some reason after she got home, and her parents just perfunctory her, saying that she would grow up in the future. You will definitely be able to open Sharingan Union. Father and mother treat me like a child. Uchiha thought to herself. Yu just listened and did not answer. He silently manipulated Uchiha Izumi's body. Sharingan. I saw Uchiha Izumi's eyes closed for a moment, then suddenly startled. In the next second, her eyes changed from normal eyes to Scarlet to Tomo Sharingan. Sharingan. At the same time, Uchiha realized that she had entered the same observant state as yesterday. Why did I turn on Sharingan again? Although Uchiha wondered how she could activate Sharingan again, she was a child and didn't think about the reason. This time I must let my parents see my Sharingan. Seeing that the little girl was going to see her parents again, Yu immediately said, I helped you open Sharingan. Once I leave your spiritual world, your body will automatically shut down Sharingan out of a protective mechanism. You are too young, and Sharingan is a burden to you now. So that's it, I said how I can't control my Sharingan. Although Uchiha Izumi really wants to be praised and praised by her parents. But knowing that her Sharingan was beyond her current control, she gave up her joy of going home and telling her parents. Big brother, my name is Izumi, Uchiha Izumi, what's your name? Yu. This name sounds so familiar. I seem to have heard it somewhere. Yu stayed in the little girl's body, listening to the system's continuous proficiency +1 prompts and the little girl's continuous talking. Suddenly, Yu felt that his state was a bit similar to the portable grandfather obtained by the protagonist in some novels. Time flies, and 3 days passed in the blink of an eye. In the past 3 days, Yu stayed in Uchiha Izumi's body, constantly improving the proficiency of Experience Sharingan and casually gave Uchiha Izumi practice Shuriken. Uchiha Izumi's talent is already very strong. Sharingan is now enabled again. Her Shuriken technique improved by leaps and bounds. On the training ground, Uchiha turned on Sharingan, her face full of seriousness. Under Yu's guidance, she threw the 2 shurikens in her hands towards the targets on the 2 wooden stakes in front of her. Whoosh, whoosh. The 2 shurikens hit the bullseye accurately. Seeing this scene, Uchiha was very happy. Brother, thank you for your teaching. My father has been busy and has no time to teach me how to practice. Yu glanced at the system panel. I saw that the proficiency of Experience Sharingan has reached 99%. Soon, the proficiency of Experience Sharingan will reach the full level. By then, he will no longer have to come to Uchiha to brush up on the proficiency of Experience Sharingan. After today, I may not enter your spiritual world in the future. Hearing Yu's words, Uchiha felt very disappointed. Ah, are you leaving? Then there will be no one to talk to me and no one to guide me in my practice. In the spiritual world, Yu looked at the little girl who looked disappointed. He put his hand on her head and rubbed it. Soon, you will enter Konoha Academy, and there will naturally be dedicated teachers to guide you in your training. The little girl didn't listen to Yu's consolation and was still very disappointed. Well, how about I teach you 2 powerful ninjutsu? Yu stretched out 2 fingers. Awesome ninjutsu. As expected, Uchiha became interested and stared at Yu with a pair of Sharingan. Although Yu has not tested Uchiha Izumi's chakra properties, but the chakra attributes of the Uchiha clan include fire. The first ninjutsu, Yu manipulates Uchiha Izumi's body, and her hands are very well formed. Fire style, dragon fire technique. After the seal was completed, a cluster of flames swept towards the wooden pile in front, and in an instant, the wooden pile in front was reduced to ashes. Seeing this scene, the little girl's eyes were filled with brilliance. She was still young and had not seen many ninjutsu. Right now, the scene caused by this sea-level, fire style, dragon fire technique gave the little girl a lot of shock. If Uchiha was a boy, she might yell at this moment, "Coach, I want to learn this." Remember, the seal is Si Chen Mao Yin. You just need to practice more in the future. Aha! Uchiha clenched her little hands into fists and nodded vigorously. The second ninjutsu is, Yohan manipulates Uchiha Izumi's body to condense chakra on both feet. Buzz. Body flicker technique. I saw Uchiha Izumi's figure disappearing in an instant. The next second, he appeared several meters away. So fast, Uchiha saw herself a few meters away, and she was so excited. This is the body flicker technique. The point is to condense the chakra in the feet. You just need to practice walking on water and climbing trees with both feet in the future. Saying that, Yu controlled Uchiha Izumi's body and walked up the trunk of the big tree step by step. In the process, it was like walking on flat ground. If an ordinary ninja wants to learn these 2 ninjutsu, if he only teaches them once, he will probably have a hard time remembering them. But now, Uchiha Izumi has opened Sharingan. When Yu uses these 2 ninjutsu, Uchiha Izumi's Sharingan is always on. Even though she is only 4 years old, Sharingan will help her. When Yu manipulated Uchiha Izumi's body to get down from the tree trunk, the system prompt in his mind finally changed. Ding! Congratulations on the host's Experience Sharingan proficiency reaching the full level. Experience Sharingan automatically upgraded to Sharingan. Hearing the system prompt, Yu felt happy. He hurriedly looked towards the system panel. As expected, I saw an extra Sharingan on the blood succession limit on the system panel. Sharingan, finally got it. Next, all it takes is constant proficiency in Sharingan to upgrade Sharingan. Mangekyo, Eternal Mangekyo, Rinnegan, and even the reincarnation Sharingan of the blood successor snare is only a matter of time. Right now, Yu has no shortage of chakra, and he can drive Sharingan 24 hours a day in the future. In this way, you can efficiently improve the proficiency of Sharingan and strive to upgrade Sharingan to Mangekyo Sharingan as soon as possible. Sharingan upgrades to Mangekyo Sharingan, which not only unlocks Susanoo, but also gains corresponding abilities. Uchiha Shisui is Distinguished Heavenly Gods. Uchiha Obito is Kamui. Uchiha Sasuke is Amaterasu plus Control Amaterasu's form change. Uchiha Itachi is Amaterasu plus Tsukuyomi. Among these abilities, except for Amaterasu which cannot kill people, other abilities are quite explosive. Yu is quite looking forward to his abilities after opening Mangekyo Sharingan. I wonder what my Mangekyo Sharingan's ability is. Initial space. After practicing today's chakra cultivation method, Yu came to the gate of Kagaya Palace. I saw a pair of scarlet eyes clearly reflected on the smooth mirror-like wall. These scarlet eyes are naturally the Sharingan that Yu obtained yesterday. Since Yohane is proficient in using Uchiha Izumi's Sharingan brush. As a result, after Yu's Experience Sharingan reached the full level, it was automatically upgraded to the 2 Tomo Sharingan like Uchiha Izumi. From the time he turned on Sharingan until now, Yu's Sharingan has always been turned on except when sleeping. And in his mind, the system's mechanical beeps were also ringing continuously. Ding! Congratulations! Host 2 Tomo Sharingan Proficiency +1. Ding! Congratulations! Host 2 Tomo Sharingan Proficiency +1. If the proficiency level continues at this speed, I believe that 2 Tomo Sharingan will be upgraded to 3 Tomo Sharingan in less than 3 days. Yu carefully observed the pair of Sharingan, feeling extremely happy. The more chakra, the better. Not only can you keep getting stronger with your eyes open. Don't worry about lack of blue yet. In half a month, Cloud Shinobi Village will replace the second-tailed Jinchuriki. By then, my Sharingan should be able to be upgraded to Mangekyo. Just right, let's test it with the second tail, my Mangekyo Sharingan. As he spoke, Yi Yu's Sharingan emitted a scarlet light, which was quite captivating. After admiring his newly acquired Sharingan for a moment, Yi Yu made a casual move against the grass pheasant sword on the palm of the Kagaya statue. Call out. The grass pheasant sword was like a living thing, spinning happily in the sky, and finally landed on Yi Yu's back, where it was suspended. Although Yi Yu's proficiency in sword controlling technique has reached the maximum level a year ago. But he had become accustomed to carrying the sword like this in the past 2 years, so he didn't bother to wear the scabbard, and just let the pheasant sword float on his back. Anyway, there is a lot of chakra. By the way, we should find something to cover Sharingan. Just when Yi Yu was about to activate space movement to leave Kagaya Palace, he suddenly remembered this. Yi Yu is not from the Uchiha clan. He needs to brush up Sharingan's proficiency, and Sharingan must be turned on all the time. If you just walk around Konoha wearing a pair of Sharingans like this, you will definitely cause unnecessary trouble. Although in the original drama, Kakashi, who is not from the Uchiha clan, also owns Sharingan. But after all, it was given by his good brother Uchiha Obito. For now, just cover your eyes like this. After a while, I will go to the Uchiha clan to find a good brother. When others ask, I can also say that my good brother gave it to me before he died. Yi Yu complained while tying a piece of black cloth over his eyes. Why does this look familiar? Isn't this the look of the so-called strongest magician? When Yi Yu saw his appearance, in the wall, with a black scarf covering his eyes, he immediately felt familiar. Then he pulled off the black cloth tied around his eyes. No, I have to change my look. It's better to buy a sunglasses strap. Sunglasses are sold in Konoha village, and Aburame Shino wears them. Yi Yu temporarily cancelled Sharingan and activated space movement, disappearing into Kagaya Palace. When Yi Yu appeared again, she was already at her home in Konoha village. Yi Yu, Yi Yu. Yi Yu had just arrived on the street, ready to buy some sunglasses, when a familiar voice came from in front of him. He saw Might Guy and Shiranui Genma walking towards him. 2 years have passed, and Might Guy and Shiranui Genma are still the same. One is wearing a green jumpsuit, and the other is holding 1,000 needles in his mouth. Guy, Genma. Yi Yu walked up and greeted the two of them. I went to your house to look for you yesterday, but I didn't see you. This is for you. As he spoke, Might Guy handed a list to Yi Yu. Yi Yu curiously took the list and saw it clearly read, Kakashi promoted to Jonin planning meeting. Well, as soon as he saw the contents of this list, a plot from Hokage Ninja popped up in Yi Yu's mind. In the plot, Uchiha Obito, who has just been promoted to Chunin, happily announces the good news to Nohara Rin. As a result, Nohara Rin whispered in Uchiha Obito's ear, "You will arrive tomorrow." Uchiha Obito bought a bouquet of flowers the next day to confess his love to Nohara Rin. As a result, Nohara Rin sent a flyer to Uchiha Obito. The content written on the flyer is, Kakashi is promoted to Jonin planning meeting. Has Kakashi been promoted to Jonin? Yi Yu looked at the flyer in his hand and muttered to himself. That's right, Kakashi is the Jonin who was promoted before the Third Ninja War. And now, the Third Ninja War is about to begin. Yes, Kakashi was promoted to Jonin before me. Might Guy clenched his fists and said with a look of reluctance. Shiranui Genma on the side heard Might Guy's words and rolled his eyes at Might Guy. Was that one step ahead of you? That's way ahead of you, okay. Kakashi is only 12 years old this year. The 12-year-old Jonin is already a genius among geniuses. But when he thought of the guy in front of him who had been promoted to Jonin 2 years ago, the emotion in Shiranui Genma's heart disappeared instantly. Just like when you were promoted to Jonin, we all prepared congratulatory gifts for Kakashi. Yi Yu, do you want to come with us? Shiranui Genma asked Yi Yu. Yi Yu didn't answer immediately. He thought of the Battle of Canopy Bridge in the original drama. After a moment of silence, Yi Yu took out a stack of detonating charms from his ninja bag. A stack of detonating charms. Shiranui Genma looked at the stack of detonating talismans in Yu Yu's hand in surprise. This is the detonating talisman I made myself as a gift for Kakashi to be promoted to Jonin. Yu Yu handed a stack of detonating talismans to Shiranui Genma, and then said as if to remind him, in the next period of time, we may have to perform missions together again. The third ninja war is coming. Yu Yu will definitely take off Anbu's mask, return to the original class, and join the battle with Might Guy and Shiranui Genma. What he meant was, the third ninja war is coming. But unfortunately, neither Shiranui Genma nor Might Guy could understand the real meaning of his words. They just understood and could do tasks with Yu Yu together again. Really? Great, we can do tasks together again. Might Guy was very excited, as if he had returned to the days when we did missions and fought together. Well, pretend I didn't say that. Seeing Might Guy looking so happy, Yu Yu remembered that Might Guy and Shiranui Genma were only 12 years old at this time. After buying a pair of sunglasses and putting them on, Yu Yu immediately started Sharingan. After hearing the proficiency +1 prompt sound again, he showed a satisfied smile. Yu Yu, why did you buy a pair of sunglasses? Might Guy and Shiranui Genma, who were waiting outside the store, saw Yu Yu coming out wearing sunglasses, and they approached him curiously. Sharingan to prevent others from seeing me, of course. After Yu Yu said something in his heart, he immediately replied, protect your eyes. How did you become like that guy Obito? That guy Obito wears goggles all day long and puts in eye drops to protect his eyes. Shiranui Genma looked at Yu Yu and couldn't help but complain. Yu Yu, put your sunglasses on for me. Might Guy reached out for sunglasses. If you really want it, I can buy another pair for you. Forget it, I'm just curious. While Yu Yu, Might Guy, and Shiranui Genma were talking, they arrived at Konoha Park. I saw a lot of people gathered in the park at this time. Yuhi Hong, Mitarashi Anko, Yamashiro Aoba, Moonlight Hayate, etc. all came at about the same time. Kakashi, who was wearing a mask, thanked everyone for their congratulations. Kakashi, Might Guy arrives first in person and first in voice. He shouted when he saw Kakashi. At the same time, everyone including Kakashi looked over. Yuhi Hong saw Yu Yu behind Might Guy, and her ruby-like eyes lit up obviously. Kakashi, congratulations on your promotion to Jonin. This is a gift from me, Yu Yu, and Xuanjian. Might Guy ran over and handed Kakashi the stack of detonating charms prepared by Yu Yu and the gifts prepared by him and Shiranui Genma. Kakashi looked at the detonating talisman, and then his eyes fell on Yu Yu, who was walking over, with a complicated look on his face. In the Chunin exam 2 years ago, he was defeated by Yu Yu's space movement plus detonating talisman. Now that he is promoted to Jonin, Yu Yu gives him a detonating talisman made by himself as a gift. There was inevitably a strange feeling in his heart. However, he finally accepted all the gifts handed over by Might Guy and said, thank you. As soon as Kakashi accepted the gift, Might Guy grinned, revealing his sparkling white teeth, and said, Kakashi, let's take advantage of this great day to show off. Kakashi rolled his eyes. What does this have to do with the great days? When have you ever seen me and not challenge me? I'm not interested. I recently developed a new ninjutsu, which will definitely hurt someone once it's used. As soon as Kakashi said this, Might Guy waved his hand and didn't care at all. However, Yu Yu's expression moved slightly. New ninjutsu. Could it be Reikiri? It just so happens that the first ninjutsu I Sharingan copy is Kakashi's Reikiri. At this moment, Yu Yu became interested in Kakashi's Reikiri. In the original drama, Kakashi is known as a ninja. Today, the ninjutsu he developed will be copied by Yu Yu. Kakashi, let me try the new ninjutsu you developed. Yu Yu came out and said proactively. As Yu Yu expected, the new ninjutsu developed by Kakashi was none other than Reikiri. Since he developed Reikiri, he has only been able to use it on dead objects such as wooden piles and straw. It has never been used in actual combat. But Kakashi knew that Reikiri was very powerful. If used in actual combat, once it hits someone, it will either kill or injure. Therefore, he is worried that Reikiri will hurt Might Guy. But for Yu Yu, Kakashi doesn't have so many worries. In the past 2 years, Kakashi has paid special attention to Yu Yu's situation. After all, he was once, instantly killed, by Yu Yu in the Chunin exam. He knew that Yu was stronger than the Chunin exam 2 years ago. In Kakashi's view, even if he uses Reikiri, it will be difficult to hurt Yu who has the blood inheritance limit of time and space. It's time to try out Reikiri's practical effects. Yohane and Kakashi. A Reikiri who wants to copy the other party. One wants to try the actual combat effect of Reikiri on the other side. The two hit it off immediately. Everyone is also very interested in the battle between Kakashi and Yu. After all, these two became Jonin at the age of 10. A 12-year-old became a Jonin. 2 years have passed, and they also want to see how far Yu and Kakashi have grown. Soon, everyone arrived at the third training ground not far away. It was obviously my challenge to Kakashi, but why did it end up being a battle between Yu and Kakashi? Might Guy stood beside Yu and asked inexplicably. Yu patted Might Guy on the shoulder and did not answer. Then he walked to the open space of the training ground and said to Kakashi, "Take action, Kakashi." Kakashi did not hesitate. Under the gaze of everyone, he first formed a seal, his right hand became a claw, and the center of the claw was upward. Chi 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 chi. Soon, a dazzling light of lightning appeared from the center of Kakashi's claws. Powerful thunder and lightning, centered on Kakashi's palm, spread out in all directions. What kind of ninjutsu is this? Chakra is so powerful that it can be seen with the naked eye. Everyone exclaimed when they saw the Reikiri in Kakashi's hand. And Yu's expression changed. A pair of Sharingan can clearly observe the seals in Kakashi's hands and the flow of chakra in his body. Kakashi, your Reikiri is very nice, but now it's mine. Yes, at this time, Yu has already copied Kakashi's Reikiri. What, you ask, does Yu have the thunder attribute chakra? Yu said, I don't know if there was me before the system was turned on, but now I have all the attributes. Chi chi chi. Just when Yu copied Kakashi's Reikiri, Kakashi had already launched an attack. I saw his feet move, and with the force of thunder, he rushed directly towards Yu. With Reikiri's run up, Kakashi's speed has obviously become much faster. Might Guy was a little surprised when he saw Kakashi's sprinting speed and said, so fast. While Might Guy was speaking, Kakashi had already rushed in front of Yu and stabbed directly with Reikiri. Laugh. At the same time, the exact same lightning appeared in Yu's palm. Soon, Kakashi's Reikiri and Yu's Reikiri were fighting each other. For a moment, the dazzling lightning actually overshadowed the sun's rays, causing everyone to instinctively close their eyes, except Yamashiro Aoba who was wearing sunglasses. This dazzling thunder light went as quickly as it came. But in just a few seconds, the light dissipated. Immediately, the vision of Yu Hihong and others was restored. When they saw the situation on the practice field, they were all shocked. Yu actually used Kakashi's new move to block Kakashi's attack. I saw that the palms of Yu and Kakashi were both shining with powerful lightning. The palms of the two of them were shaking together at this moment. To be surprised, the one who was most surprised at this moment was Kakashi himself. He looked at Yu's palm shining with lightning in surprise. As the developer of Reikiri, Kakashi can naturally see that the tricks Yu used are the Reikiri he developed. He clearly remembered that this was the first time he had used Reikiri in front of others. In the past, one person would practice using wooden stakes and scarecrows. He doesn't understand why Yu also uses Reikiri. What happened? Why do you do this? At this time, Reikiri is not called Reikiri yet. Kakashi changed his name to Reikiri after he used this move to cut off thunder and lightning. Kakashi took back the palm that collided with Yu, removed the lightning on it, and asked Yu with a puzzled look on his face. I just learned it. Yu also put away the lightning in his hand and spoke truthfully. However, as soon as Yu said these words, Kakashi's heart was filled with turmoil, and a look of astonishment appeared on his face. Did you just learn it? How can this be? Kakashi knows how difficult it is to learn Reikiri, and has reached S level. Even if Sharingan has the ability to copy other people's ninjutsu, there is no guarantee that his Reikiri can be copied at a glance. But now, Yu learned Reikiri just by watching him release Reikiri once. How could Kakashi's heart not be shaken? However, the reality is indeed what Kakashi thought. It's really hard for an average Sharingan owner to learn Kakashi's Reikiri at a glance. In the original drama, Uchiha Sasuke, who also has a Sharingan, spent a week learning Reikiri, which is Chidori. The reason why Yu copied Kakashi's Reikiri in an instant was that, in addition to Sharingan's powerful insight, there was also the split body lurking in Cloud Shinobi Village in the past 2 years, which shared a lot of lightning style with him. Ninjutsu and knowledge. Through these ninjutsu and knowledge, Yu has mastered the form change and nature transformation of the Thunder Attribute Chakra. And Reikiri happens to be a combination of the form change of Thunder Attribute Chakra and nature transformation. Therefore, Yu only needs to use Sharingan and observe the seals in Kakashi's hands and the flow of chakra in his body when he performs Reikiri, and he can copy it instantly. Seeing the shocked expression on Kakashi's face, Yu felt secretly happy. Kakashi, no wonder you don't have enough chakra, but you still have to release those copied ninjutsu in front of others every time. It turns out it's so cool to copy other people's ninjutsu and unleash it in person. Yohane clearly remembers Kakashikapi Zabuza's water-style water dragon bomb technique in the original drama. When I watched it at the time, I really felt that Kakashi was extremely handsome. But something felt wrong later on. Kakashi obviously doesn't have enough blue. Why did he have to release this water-style water dragon bomb technique that consumes a lot of mana and has no use in front of Zabuza? Now he understands. It feels so good. It feels so good. Yu, you are so awesome, aren't you? You actually learned Kakashi's new moves just by looking at him. Outside the training ground, Shiranui Genma and others saw that both Yu and Kakashi had stopped, so they came over one after another. Kakashi, what's the name of your move? Might Guy came to Kakashi, showing his dazzling white teeth, and asked aloud. It hasn't been officially named yet. Kakashi rubbed his wrist and replied. Upon hearing Kakashi's words, Might Guy became interested and said, let me help you choose a name. While talking, Might Guy made a move. My move is called Leaf Great Whirlwind. This move of yours is called Konoha Lightning Hand. Upon hearing this name, everyone including Kakashi was speechless. Yu, on the other hand, was moved and took the initiative to say, Kakashi, when I just used this move, I cut off all the lightning on your palm. How about calling me Reikiri? Reikiri, good name. Might Guy immediately agreed. And Kakashi also thinks this name is good. Therefore, Kakashi officially named this move Reikiri, named by Yu. Time flies, and in the blink of an eye, 2 weeks have passed since the day to celebrate Kakashi's promotion to Jonin. In the past 2 weeks, whether he was performing tasks in Anbu or brushing up proficiency in the ball space, his Sharingan was always on. As Yu continued to improve the proficiency of Sharingan day and night, finally today, his Sharingan underwent its first major transformation. Ding! Congratulations! The proficiency of Host 3 Tomo Sharingan has reached the full level. 3 Tomo Sharingan has automatically upgraded to Mangekyo Sharingan. Hearing the system prompt sound in his mind, Yu was immediately overjoyed. Captain, did you find anything? A year ago, Yu was promoted to Anbu's captain. When the system prompt sounded, Yu was still wearing the mask of Konoha Anbu and patrolling with the team he led. An Anbu member saw Yu suddenly jumping down from a big tree, and he immediately walked up and asked. Nothing unusual has been found yet. Just keep an eye on it here. I'll be back soon. After telling all the Anbu members, Yu disappeared in a flash. When Yu appeared again, he had arrived at the Kagaya Palace in the beginning space. Finally promoted to Mangekyo Sharingan, Yu came to the gate of Kagaya Palace and took off the sunglasses on his face. Inside the smooth mirror-like wall, a pair of scarlet 3 Tomo Sharingan appeared. Just as Yu expected, on the third day after obtaining Sharingan, his 2 Tomo Sharingan was brushed with 3 Magatama. For more than 10 days since then, I have been improving the proficiency of 3 Tomo Sharingan. Finally just now, 3 Tomo Sharingan was upgraded to Mangekyo Sharingan. And Yu couldn't wait to come to this space to see what his Mangekyo Sharingan looked like and what abilities it had. Yu slowly closed his eyes. The next second, his eyes suddenly opened. Mangekyo Sharingan. Chapter 51. As Yu injected more chakra into his eyes changed instantly. I saw the 3 Magatama in the eyes, immediately began to rotate, and soon the 3 Magatama turned into a complex pattern. The pattern is somewhat like a combination of Uchiha Madara and Uchiha Obito Mangekyo Sharingan. There is a small hollow dot in the center of the pupil. 3 regular black cantilevers extend outward from the small dot. The 3 cantilevers make a hollow turn at the edge of the pupil and are connected end to end. Is this my Mangekyo Sharingan? Yu put his right hand on his right cheek and looked at Mangekyo Sharingan reflected in the wall, with a satisfied expression on his face. Let's see first what abilities these Mangekyo Sharingan have. After observing the pattern of his Mangekyo Sharingan for a few seconds, Yu immediately began to check the ability of his Mangekyo Sharingan. This is, after seeing his Mangekyo Sharingan's ability, the corners of Yu's mouth quirked up little by little. This is really a good ability. His Mangekyo Sharingan has 2 abilities. Left eye, Splitting Void. Right eye, Forbidden Space. Splitting Void. It can cut off the time and space abilities that are already in effect. This is an active ability. Forbidden Space. It can prevent others from using time and space abilities. This is a passive ability. In short, Yu can invalidate the time and space abilities that have taken effect within a certain range around him, such as Impure World Reincarnation, Summoning. Yu can make the soul of Impure World Reincarnation, the summoning beast from summoning, where to go and back. Other people within a certain range of Yu cannot use time and space abilities. A series of time and space abilities such as Flying Thunder God Technique, Kamui, Wonkwan Hirasaka, Tianji Yu, etc. are all prohibited. In addition, his ability is the same as Uchiha Obito's Kamui, which comes with its own space. Speaking of which, this ability looks familiar. Soon, Yu remembered that this ability was exactly the ability of Brandish's subordinate Ma Lin, one of the 12 holy shields in Fairy Tail, who could enlarge and shrink. Yu, restrain all time and space abilities. Kagaya, Obito, I really am not targeting you. Kagaya, Obito, I believe you. After checking Mangekyo Sharingan's ability, Yu immediately activated Splitting Void without any hesitation. Splitting Void, this active ability, when used on others, cuts off other people's time and space abilities. To actively use it on yourself is to enter the space that comes with this ability. The next second, Yu's figure disappeared into Kagaya Palace out of thin air. When he appeared again, he was already in his own space. This space is not large, and can even be described as small. Not to mention Kagaya's 6 spaces. It's even smaller than Uchiha Obito's Kamui space. However, Yu didn't care. Because this space can grow. Wait until he has gained proficiency in Mangekyo Sharingan, Splitting Void, and Forbidden Sky. Not only Mangekyo Sharingan will be upgraded. The scope of this space and the scope of Forbidden Sky will also expand accordingly. At the moment, Yu can only prevent people within 5 meters of him from using time and space abilities. Wait for the proficiency of Forbidden Sky to increase. This range will become 50 meters, 100 meters. Wherever Yu goes, all other people's space abilities are prohibited. After testing the unique abilities of each person in Mangekyo Sharingan, Yu came out of the Splitting Void space and came outside Kagaya Palace. He is going to try the ultimate ability that comes with Mangekyo Sharingan, Susanoo. Susanoo. Yu's pair of Mangekyo Sharingan was suddenly startled. Buzz. The terrifying chakra in Yu's body burst out instantly. Immediately afterwards, the huge chakra condensed into a red ribcage skeleton 2 meters high. This red ribcage skeleton firmly protected Yu's entire body. Full of security. Is this my Susanoo? Yu looked at the red ribcage frame in front of him, with an extremely satisfied expression on his face. This ribcage skeleton is just the initial form of Susanoo. He only has a chest, not even a head. When the head appears, that's Susanoo's first form. Then there are the second form, the third form, until the complete body. Let's see what the complete Susanoo looks like first. After carefully looking at the initial form of Susanoo, Yu was ready to release the complete Susanoo in one go. However, just when Yu increased his efforts to release the power of Mangekyo Sharingan, his eyes twitched fiercely. His eyes were bloodshot. Seeing that blood was about to flow out of his eyes, Yu hurriedly put Susanoo away. It seems that it is best to wait until the Mangekyo Sharingan is upgraded to the Eternal Mangekyo before using the full-body Susanoo. As he spoke, the red Susanoo around Yu suddenly collapsed and finally disappeared completely. However, the power of this Mangekyo Sharingan is enough to control the two tails. Just use the two tails to try the power of this Mangekyo Sharingan. Yu covered his eyes with his hands, and Mangekyo Sharingan's breathtaking gaze burst out from the gaps between his fingertips. The Land of Thunder, Cloud Shinobi Village. This is a village nestled among mountains and clouds. The terrain of the village is very complex, with mountains and mountains everywhere. There are clouds and mist all year round. Normally, when a ninja comes in, it's easy to get lost. At this time, there were two cloud shinobi on a steep mountain path, walking one behind the other. These two cloud shinobi are not very old, probably 15 or 16 years old. If Yu were here at this time, he would definitely recognize these two people. These two people are none other than the young Eight-Tails Jinchuriki Killer Bee, and Killer Bee's friend Omoi. Bye, have you noticed that there is something wrong with the atmosphere in the village recently? Omoi asked Killer Bee in front of him as he walked. I didn't notice anything about Omoi's atmosphere. Maybe it was an illusion, oye. Killer Bee danced and rapped. Is it an illusion? Maybe. After following Killer Bee for so many years, Omoi has long been accustomed to Killer Bee's rap style, and he doesn't care at all. While the two were talking, a rather large Fukuro rushed out of the clouds and flew straight towards where the two were. Yes, Omon. Seeing Fukuro flying over the sky, Omoi's face showed a look of fondness. Obviously, this Fukuro is Omoi's contract partner. Soon, under the gaze of Killer Bee and Omoi, the Fukuro landed on Omoi's shoulder. And tied to one of Fukuro's legs was a bamboo tube for delivering letters. Omoi took out the letter from the bamboo tube and read it with ease. Soon, he raised his head and said to Killer Bee, "Bee, Master Rakage wants you to go to Turtle Island." Killer Bee did not speak, but Eight Tails in his body suddenly said, "Turtle Island, it seems that the incident is about to begin." Killer Bee naturally knew what Eight Tails was talking about, referring to the replacement of Jinchuriki by the second tail. The replacement of Jinchuriki by a tailed beast is a big event for every village that has a tailed beast. Cloud Shinobi Village is no exception. For concealment and to minimize casualties. Every time Cloud Shinobi Village changes its Jinchuriki, it is done on the off-the-beaten-path Turtle Island. As an Eight Tails Jinchuriki, Killer Bee is more capable of mastering some of Eight Tails' powers. He will go to Turtle Island to assist the third Rakage in transferring the two tails from the original Jinchuriki body to the new Jinchuriki body. Killer Bee clearly remembers the fate of his predecessor Eight Tails Jinchuriki. Therefore, after knowing what he was about to do, he did not rap, but remained silent for a long time before finally saying, "Understood." Just as Killer Bee was heading towards Turtle Island, another person came to Turtle Island quietly. This person is naturally Yu. The defense is quite tight. Yu, who had just used space movement to teleport over, turned on his perception ability as soon as he appeared. Soon, Yu sensed that there were a large number of guards on the entire Turtle Island. Especially in the center of the island, there are dozens of chakras. Yu knew that that was where the real waterfall was. There is a secret room behind the real waterfall. In the original drama, during the Fourth Ninja War, Uzumaki Naruto trained with Killer Bee in that secret room. Yu opened Sharingan, glanced in the direction of the real waterfall, and then smiled calmly. The next second, his figure disappeared from where he was. When he appeared again, he was already in the secret room behind the real waterfall. As soon as Yohane entered the secret room, he discovered that there were 5 Cloud Shinobi in the secret room. 4 of the Cloud Shinobi teamed up to create a barrier. The one inside the barrier is an old Cloud Shinobi. He is closing his eyes. This must be the second-tailed Jinchuriki. Yuyu's eyes were instantly locked on Cloud Shinobi who was in the barrier. Yuyu's sudden appearance also startled the 4 Cloud Shinobi. You know, the location of Turtle Island is originally very hidden. Not even the average Cloud Shinobi knows about it. What's more, this is a secret room behind a real waterfall. Logically speaking, only the third Rakage and those with permission from the third Rakage can enter this secret room. Now there was a stranger sneaking in silently, how could those Cloud Shinobi not be surprised? Just when the 4 Cloud Shinobi who had arranged the barrier were preparing to join forces to deal with the intruders first, Yu pointed his fingers together at one of the Cloud Shinobi. Go! The next moment, the Kusanagi sword behind him turned into a white rainbow and shot towards the Cloud Shinobi in an instant. So fast, Cloud Shinobi only saw a flash of white light, and before he could make the next move, his body was pierced. Boo-hoo-hoo. After instantly killing a Cloud Shinobi, Kusanagi's sword's speed continued unabated. In just one breath, the Kusanagi sword penetrated the bodies of the remaining 3 Cloud Shinobi one after another, and returned behind Yu. In the end, only the second-tailed Jinchuriki was left. The 4 Cloud Shinobi fell to the ground and the barrier disappeared. The second-tailed Jinchuriki, who was in the barrier, slowly opened his eyes. He first glanced at Furui Mubo, the 4 Cloud Shinobi who fell beside him, and then looked at Yu in front. Be careful, this guy's chakra is extremely large. Besides, those eyes make me very uneasy. Urwei's voice sounded in Urwei's mind. Hearing Urwei's notification sound, Urwei Jinchuriki focused all his attention on Yu's eyes. After seeing Yu's scarlet eyes, his expression suddenly shook. That is, the bloodline limit of the Uchiha clan, Sharingan. And the pattern is more complicated than that of ordinary Sharingan. Could it be the kind of Sharingan that Uchiha Madara possesses according to rumors? When Uchiha Madara was here, almost all of the enemy ninjas who met Mangekyo Sharingan died. In the years since Uchiha Madara's death, there has been no new Mangekyo Sharingan in the ninja world. Therefore, only the legend of Mangekyo Sharingan circulates in the ninja world. Few ninjas have ever seen it in person. A person's name, the shadow of a tree. Having the same Mangekyo Sharingan as Uchiha Madara reappeared, the second-tailed Jinchuriki was inevitably shocked. Although Yu's eyes were on the second-tailed Jinchuriki, his pair of Mangekyo Sharingan could see through the second-tailed Jinchuriki's body and directly see the tailed beast inside the second-tailed Jinchuriki. A big cat with a blue body and 2 tails, Yohane's Mangekyo Sharingan can actually see her true form. She stood up in an instant, with her cat fur standing on end and her teeth bared. At the same time, the red-tailed beast chakra seeped out of the surface of the second-tailed Jinchuriki's body. Gudong gudong. Soon, the red-tailed beast chakra, like a coat, adhered to the second-tailed Jinchuriki's body. And behind him, a tail condensed from the red-tailed beast chakra appeared. Fire Rat Ball Jade. As soon as one tail transformed into a beast, the second-tailed Jinchuriki launched an attack. Only balls of flames were seen, being spit out by the second-tailed Jinchuriki. Those flame balls condensed into mice one by one during the flight. You are a cat, why are you attacking from a mouse? Seeing the flaming rats, like living creatures, surrounding them from all directions, Yu not only did not dodge, he was also in the mood to complain to the big cat and the second-tailed Jinchuriki. Shut up. Hearing Yu's words, the big cat's fur exploded even more. With a low roar from the big cat, the 2-tailed Jinchuriki, with its tailed beast coat all over its body, stood on all fours like a real cat, and instantly came behind Yu, patting Yu's body with one paw. Past. There are a large number of flame rats flying in front. This was followed by a claw attack from the 2-tailed Jinchuriki. Suddenly, Yu was caught in a situation where he was being attacked from both sides. Boom. Soon, a large number of flame rats bombarded Yu in front and triggered a series of explosions. From behind, the claws of the second-tailed Jinchuriki also slapped Yu's body. But in his imagination, the scene of Yu's body being smashed to pieces by a single blow did not appear. I saw that Yu's body was completely protected by a red skull chest. The explosion of the flame rat and the claw attack of the 2-tailed Jinchuriki were all blocked by the red skeleton chest. What's this? The second-tailed Jinchuriki didn't know Susanoo. He looked at the red skull chest protecting Yu and his expression condensed. At the same time, the second-tailed Jinchuriki, whose attack failed, also exerted force with his feet, and his body suddenly retreated, putting some distance between himself and Yu. But before the second-tailed Jinchuriki had time to breathe a sigh of relief, Yu, who was originally in front of him, came behind him at some point and reached out to grab him. Careful, the second tail in Jinchuriki's body reminded urgently. Hearing the notification sound from the second tail Jinchuriki was also shocked. He didn't see how Yu moved at all. It was as if a ghost appeared behind him out of thin air. However, this is not the time to think about this. Just when Yi Yu's palm was about to touch the second-tailed Jinchuriki, the second-tailed Jinchuriki suddenly accelerated and disappeared in a flash. After transforming into a tailed beast, does it become faster? In that case, while speaking, Yi Yu activated Space Movement plus Exploding Clay. In the blink of an eye, one by one clay spiders were sent into the body of the second-tailed Jinchuriki by Yi Yu. Erwei Jinchuriki just felt his stomach suddenly bloated. There was a crisp sound of snapping fingers in the air. Snapped. With Yi Yu's snap of his fingers, all the detonating clay in the two-tailed Jinchuriki exploded. Boom boom boom. Although the body surface of the two-tailed Jinchuriki is protected by the tailed beast chakra, the explosion of the clay spider may not be able to destroy this layer of chakra. But at this moment, the clay spider exploded inside the second-tailed Jinchuriki. How could the fragile internal organs withstand this explosion? In an instant, the second-tailed Jinchuriki exploded and fell to the ground. The tailed beast coat on his body also slowly dissipated. While the second-tailed Jinchuriki still had a breath left, Yi Yu directly unlocked the seal in the second-tailed Jinchuriki's body without any hesitation. Roar! Without the suppression of the seal, the second tail in Jinchuriki's body rushed out in an instant. That huge body almost filled the entire room. Standing in front of Erwei, Yi Yu looked so small. Although it was Yi Yu who unlocked Erwei's seal and gave her freedom. But Erwei didn't intend to thank Yi Yu. From Erwei's point of view, the Yi Yu in front of him must be like other humans, and he must want to capture her and seal her into the bodies of other humans. All human beings have done this for so many years. Die! Erwei raised his huge cat paw, preparing to slap Yi Yu to death with one paw. But just as her huge cat claws were raised, her field of vision was occupied by a huge Mangekyo Sharingan. Immediately afterwards, her pupils gradually turned into those of Sharingan. At the same time, the huge cat claw that Erwei raised was slowly lowered. The capture of the second tail is complete. After using Mangekyo Sharingan to control the second tail, Yi Yu immediately used Space Movement and returned to the starting ball space. Without any hesitation, he slapped his palm against the ground. Summoning technique. Yi Yu's palm just touched the ground. A huge rune circle appeared on the ground. Boom! Along with a streak of white smoke, Erwei's extremely huge body appeared in the space of the first ball. Immediately, Yi Yu flew his sword to the sky above Erwei's head and released Sharingan's control. He captured Erwei not because of Erwei's power. I just want Erwei to come to this Kagaya space and look at the gate. He wanted to tame the big cat. As soon as the Sharingan pattern in the eyes of the huge Erwei disappeared, she roared angrily at Yi Yu who was standing on the flying sword in the sky. She is a cat though. But the roar shook the heavens and the earth. The powerful air waves made Yi Yu's hair dance wildly. Then, under Yi Yu's gaze, Erwei opened his bloody mouth. Buzz. The next second, a dark purple chakra ball condensed above Erwei's mouth. Tailed Beast Bomb. As Erwei continued to inject chakra into the Tailed Beast Bomb, the Tailed Beast Bomb began to expand rapidly at a speed visible to the naked eye. However, in just a few breaths, the originally fist-sized Tailed Beast Bomb had expanded into a huge chakra ball with a diameter of 1 meter. I am the owner of this space now, and I can't just let you destroy it. Looking at the rapidly expanding Tailed Beast Bomb, Yi Yu did not sit still and wait for death. With a wave of his arms, a special kunai with the Flying Thunder God spell was sent to the vicinity of Turtle Island by Yi Yu using Space Movement. When Erwei launched the extremely huge Tailed Beast Bomb, Yi Yu activated the Flying Thunder God Guided Mine. The huge Tailed Beast Bomb flying at high speed suddenly disappeared out of thin air. The next second, the huge Tailed Beast Bomb appeared above Turtle Island. Buzz. As soon as the Tailed Beast bullet appeared, it burst out with an extremely dazzling light. This light even overshadowed the sunlight in the sky, engulfing everything around it. No, that's the Tailed Beast Bomb. Killer Bee, who had just arrived at Turtle Island, was immediately attracted by the dazzling light in the sky. But before he could figure out what this dazzling light meant, Eight Tails' urgent reminder sounded in his mind. Although Killer Bee at this time has not yet practiced Tailed Beast Bomb, but he also knows what Tailed Beast Bomb is. Without any hesitation, Killer Bee immediately transformed into a tailed beast with the cooperation of 8 tails, and it was completely transformed into a tailed beast. 8 tails is like a giant octopus, opening 8 tentacle-like accretion discs to wrap up the tailed beast bomb that is about to explode in the sky. Boom! Soon, the tailed beast bomb wrapped in 8 tails exploded. The 8 tails wrapped into a ball was like a rubber ball. The moment the tailed beast bomb exploded, the whole body suddenly swelled. Even with 8 tails' huge body, it couldn't fully withstand the terrifying explosion of the tailed beast bomb. 8 tails fell straight from the sky like a grilled octopus. I need to sleep for a while. After the voice of 8 tails sounded in Killer Bee's mind, Killer Bee retreated from the state of complete tailed beast to human form. Killer Bee, who is Jinchuriki, also suffered serious injuries. His body fell straight to the ground below. But before Killer Bee's body hit the ground, there was a flash of lightning, and a figure appeared instantly and caught the falling Killer Bee. What happened? The person who came was none other than the 4th Raikage from the original show. However, his father, the 3rd Raikage, is not dead yet. He's not Raikage yet. It's the tailed beast bomb, brother. Killer Bee fainted after saying this. Speak clearly, 4th Raikage had a very bad temper. After hearing Killer Bee's nonsense, he gritted his teeth and shook Killer Bee's body, trying to wake him up, but Killer Bee's injuries were too serious. No matter how 4th Raikage shakes, Killer Bee just won't wake up. Not long after, the contemporary Raikage of Raikage Village rushed over, accompanied by a group of guards. A guard who knew medical ninjutsu immediately ran up to treat the seriously injured Killer Bee. The 3rd Raikage just glanced at the unconscious Killer Bee, and then asked his son, what happened here just now? Why did Bee suddenly transform into a tailed beast? I don't know, Bai just said tailed beast bomb and passed out. 4th Raikage replied somewhat irritably. Tailed beast bomb. No, could it be that her way broke through the blockade and broke out? Behind 3rd Raikage, a guard's expression suddenly changed and he spoke hurriedly. This guard is none other than Toshiro, who used lava style in Uzumaki Naruto to seal the 3rd Raikage during the 4th Ninja War. However, Toshiro did not wear an eye patch on his left eye at this time. After hearing Toshiro's words, 3rd Raikage and others were in no mood to care about anything else and hurried towards the place where the real waterfall was. However, when the 3rd Raikage arrived at the place where the real waterfall was, they saw a group of Cloud Shinobi guards, many of them standing in front of the real waterfall. Lord Raikage, seeing 3rd Raikage and others approaching, the guards immediately saluted. At this time, Toshiro and others all had doubtful expressions on their faces. Currently, in the entire Cloud Shinobi village, only 2 tails and 8 tails can release the tailed beast bomb. 8 tails was seriously injured, and the tailed beast bomb that just appeared must have been released by 2 tails. But all the Cloud Shinobi guarding the 2nd tail were unscathed. This shows that her way did not break through the blockade. This contradictory situation made Toshiro and others very confused. Toshiro wanted to ask the guards, did you see the 2nd tail running out? But I thought it was nonsense, so I didn't ask. After all, with the terrifying strength of her way, if she ran out, these guards would be dead long ago. How could they still stand here unharmed? 3rd Raikage saw that the guards in front of the real waterfall were safe and sound. He transformed into lightning and rushed into the real waterfall in an instant. Seeing this, Toshiro and other guards immediately chased after him. Passing through the real waterfall, there is a dark passage inside. At the end of the passage is the entrance to the secret room of the 2nd-tailed Jinchuriki. Toshiro and others did not notice anything unusual along the way, which made their doubts deepen. After 3rd Raikage opened the door to the secret room, everyone's expressions changed. I saw 5 corpses lying in the room. One of them is none other than the 2-tailed Jinchuriki. At this moment, Toshiro and others all felt in their hearts, no, the 2nd tail is lost. Tailed beasts are very important to any village. Right now, the 2nd tail was snatched away without anyone noticing. One can imagine the rage in Raikage's heart. Chi. I saw the muscular 3rd Raikage, with his back to Toshiro and others. All around him, violent thunder and lightning flashed. Soon, the lightning was like a thunderstorm, spreading out in all directions with 3rd Raikage as the center. Master Raikage, please calm down. The most urgent task now is to find out who broke in here and stole the 2nd tail. Toshiro used lava style to create a protective film that protected all the guards. At the same time, he shouted loudly to the third Raikage, who kept releasing thunder and lightning. The third Raikage's temper is much milder than that of his son, fourth Raikage. If he had lost his second tail with fourth Raikage's temper, he would have started yelling loudly by now. But third Raikage didn't shout or go around wreaking havoc. But the increasingly violent thunder and lightning on his body showed the rage in his heart. The third Raikage calmed down a little after hearing Toshiro's words, and then called in a group of guards outside the real waterfall. After the guards saw the body of the second-tailed Jinchuriki, their expressions changed drastically. Then Toshiro asked, and these guards answered, "Lord Raikage, we didn't notice anyone approaching. We didn't find anything else out of the ordinary. I didn't find anyone casting illusions. The powerful illusion can indeed make you walk into the real waterfall under the eyes of the guards. For example, in the original drama, Uchiha Itachi and Hoshigaki Kisame, after Orochimaru invaded Konoha, entered Konoha village in front of the two Konoha gatekeepers, Azumo and Zitetsu. But among these guards in front of the real waterfall is Grandmaster Illusion. A ninja who wanted to cause a Grandmaster Illusion to fall under the illusion without knowing it. That person who casts illusions is quite terrifying. After questioning the guards, Toshiro began to look at the bodies of the 5 people in the room. After the preliminary investigation was completed, Toshiro came to third Raikage and reported. "Lord Raikage, the guards did not detect anything unusual. The intruder may have bypassed the guards and used space-based ninjutsu to land directly in this room. It's also possible that it's a very scary genjutsu-type ninja that made our guards fall under the genjutsu without knowing it." The 4 members of the barrier group all had no time to resist and were killed with one blow. As for Jinchuriki, his skin has traces of burns and ulcers. It is suspected that he has undergone incomplete tailed beast transformation. His fatal injury was an explosion inside his body. The seal on Jinchuriki's body was released, and the 2 tails disappeared. At this point, Toshiro paused, and then continued, "However, there is something very strange." "What's weird? You just said it directly and you were beating around the bush." Before third Raikage could speak, the grumpy, fourth Raikage, cursed. Toshiro took a deep breath and said, "There are no traces of the fight between Urwei and the intruder in the room. This situation can only mean that Urwei took the initiative to leave with the intruder after breaking the seal. Or, in front of the intruder, Urwei has no power to resist and is directly captured by the intruder." After Toshiro finished speaking, all the guards felt panic in their hearts. This is impossible. Tailed beasts all hate humans extremely, and the second tail is no exception. It is impossible for her to leave humans on her own initiative. It is even more impossible for the second tail to be captured without the power to resist. Even Raikage-sama cannot accomplish such a thing. It is impossible for such a thing to exist in the entire ninja world. One of the guards refutes Toshiro's analysis. But before he could finish his words, third Raikage, who had never spoken before, interrupted him. "No, there are still ninjas who can make the 2 tails defenseless. The first Hokage who once single-handedly captured the 9-tailed beasts, and the Uchiha Madara who was able to control the 9 tails. First Hokage, Uchiha Madara." Upon hearing these 2 thunderous names, all the Cloud Shinobi were horrified. Indeed, both first Hokage and Uchiha Madara were able to take away the second tail quietly. But, first Hokage and Uchiha Madara, what era are they from? Aren't they long dead? Fourth Raikage puts it bluntly. Although first Hokage and Uchiha Madara are dead, according to the information we received, Konoha has been studying first Hokage's wood style over the years. The Uchiha clan also has many talented ninjas. Has there been a wood style ninja in Konoha? Has there been a Sharingan in the Uchiha clan who can control tailed beasts like Uchiha Madara? These are all unknowns. Naturally, you didn't know that everyone in Cloud Shinobi Village, with just a few words from you and me, had locked the target of capturing the second tail on Konoha's head. At this time, Yu was still taming Urwei. In hyper-gravity space. Urwei was like a lazy cat, turning his belly and lying motionless on the ground. It's just that her eyes that are almost blazing with fire are proving that Urwei is not too lazy to move, but really can't move. The human had just brought her into this space, and her body seemed to be pressed against a heavy mountain. It made her unable to stand up even if she wanted to. You still dare to stare at me, don't you accept it? Yi Yu sat on the big cat's head, and when he saw the look in the big cat's eyes, he slapped it down. If you don't accept it, you will stay here. When you do, I will let you out. After saying that, Yi Yu activated space movement and left the hyper-gravity space, leaving only the big cat in this super-gravity space, kicking his limbs wildly, trying to get up. When Yi Yu just returned to Konoha village, he received a piece of news that made him extremely happy. Jiraiya returned to the village. Jiraiya is finally back. Sage mode can be put on the agenda. Mount Myoboku. The bushes here are lush and green, and the air is full of natural energy. Toads sit or lie on the branches and leaves of flowers and plants that are larger than people, and they are very comfortable. Boss, Grandpa asked you to come over. A toad jumped under a huge banana leaf and shouted loudly. Soon, a black shadow jumped down from the huge banana leaf. The black shadow was an old toad with a white beard and white eyebrows. This old toad with white beard and white eyebrows is none other than Fukasaku, who taught Jiraiya and Uzumaki Naruto how to practice Sage mode in the original drama. If humans come to Mount Myoboku to practice, Fukasaku Toad will screen them on behalf of the Great Toad Sage. I know, I'll go right away. Fukasaku responded. The Great Grandpa in Toad's mouth naturally refers to Great Toad Sage, Toad Pill. Toadmaru is the ancestor of the toads who have survived from the era of Sage of Six Paths to this day. Regarding the summons of the Great Toad Sage, Fukasaku did not dare to hesitate at all and headed directly towards the depths of Mount Myoboku. When I arrived at the Great Toad Sage's training ground, I saw an extremely large toad with an old face, lying on a seat above the main hall. Master Grandpa, what is your order when you summon me? Fukasaku came under Great Toad Sage and asked aloud. Great Toad Sage didn't respond at all to Fukasaku's questions. Seeing this, Fukasaku was not surprised. After all, Great Toad Sage was too old and often fell asleep. Fukasaku sighed, and then jumped onto the passenger seat next to Great Toad Sage. This seat was originally Fukasaku's seat. Master Grandpa. Fukasaku took a deep breath and shouted loudly. After Fukasaku's loud shouting from close range, the Great Toad Sage finally woke up. You came. Great Toad Sage raised his eyelids slightly, looked at Fukasaku beneath him, and said in an old tone. Grandpa, why did you call me here? Fukasaku looked at the Great Toad Sage and repeated his question. I predicted that a ninja from Konoha village will come to Mount Myoboku to practice training in the near future. Go and pick him up. Great Toad Sage said with his eyes closed. Hearing what Great Toad Sage said, Fukasaku had a surprised expression on his face. Over the past thousands of years, countless humans have come to Mount Myoboku to practice Buddhism. But the only human being who can appear in the prophecy of the Great Toad Sage, except for the Sage of Six Paths thousands of years ago, is Jiraiya. Moreover, Jiraiya entered Mount Myoboku by mistake, and the Great Toad Sage did not ask him to pick him up. Now, a human being not only appeared in the Great Toad Sage's prophecy, but also asked him to pick it up. Fukasaku was naturally a little surprised. What changes will this Konoha ninja bring to the ninja world? Fukasaku knew that the person predicted by the Great Toad Sage would definitely bring something to the ninja world. He couldn't help but ask curiously. I don't know, I haven't seen that many. I only saw a boy from Konoha village who came to Mount Myoboku to practice. The Konoha boy predicted by the Great Toad Sage is naturally Yohane. Unknown to Yohane, the Great Toad Sage had asked Fukasaku to send someone to take him to Mount Myoboku. At this time, Yi Yu is preparing to follow the 3 steps he had planned to get Jiraiya, and then let Jiraiya take him to Mount Myoboku to practice Sage mode. This chakra should be Jiraiya. Yi Yu spread his senses to cover the entire Konoha. Soon, he sensed a strange and larger chakra. In the past 2 years, Yi Yu has memorized all the ninjas in Konoha village who have a large number of chakra. Jiraiya's chakra amount is also among the best among all the ninjas in Konoha village. Therefore, after sensing the strange and larger chakra that suddenly appeared in Konoha village, Yi Yu concluded that its owner was Jiraiya. Just when Yi Yu was about to use space movement to teleport directly, his movement suddenly stopped, and a strange expression appeared on his face. The place where Jiraiya is now seems to be near Konoha Hot Spring, right? Yu still clearly remembers what happened to him and Yuhihong a few months ago. On that day, Yu and Yuhihong made an appointment to meet. Taking advantage of his huge chakra, Yu was too lazy to walk to Yuhihong's house and directly used space movement. As a result, when he teleported over, Yuhihong happened to be taking a shower. Although Yu has entered Yuhihong's body many times. But this is the first time for such a candid meeting. Yuhi Kurenai didn't yell though. But that scene was extremely embarrassing. Forget it, let's just walk over. Recalling the embarrassing scene between himself and Yuhihong, Yu did not plan to use space movement to teleport there. After all, he knew Jiraiya's nature. It would be fine if Jiraiya was in the men's bathhouse. If Jiraiya is in the women's bathhouse, then he teleports there. Yu, come over and eat dumplings together. Just when Yu went to Konoha hot spring to look for Jiraiya, he met Might Guy and Shiranui Genma on the way. Might Guy and Shiranui Genma are in the dango shop, eating 3-color dango. This is a famous snack in Konoha. You guys eat, I have something to do. Yu waved to Might Guy and Shiranui Genma. Seeing Yu's furious look, Might Guy and Shiranui Genma looked at each other. Soon, the two of them quickly finished the 3-color dumplings in their hands, and then quickly chased Yu in front. Yu, wait for us. Seeing Might Guy and Shiranui Genma catching up, Yu asked in surprise, why are you here? We happen to have nothing to do. Let's see if you are busy here and need help. Might Guy grinned, showing his shining teeth, and said in a sincere tone. I don't need your help, but since you are here, let's come together. Yohan's search for Jiraiya is different from his search for Orochimaru. There is nothing to hide. Might Guy and Shiranui Genma kindly wanted to help, so Yu didn't stop them. Soon, Yu brought Might Guy and Shiranui Genma to a place not far from Jiraiya. Hot spring bathhouse. Are you coming to take a bath? Looking at Konoha hot spring in front of him, Might Guy looked confused. I'm looking for someone, have you seen that person? Yohan quickly found Jiraiya. Sure enough, Jiraiya was hiding on the hillside behind the women's bathhouse, using a monocular to peek. Might Guy and Shiranui Genma looked in the direction of Yu's finger. Soon, they saw a wretched man, peeping and smiling. Seeing this scene, the righteous Might Guy immediately rushed over and kicked him in the air. Who is peeping here? Jiraiya was so busy watching that he didn't notice the Might Guy who suddenly rushed towards him. By the time he realized it, Might Guy's foot had already kicked Jiraiya in the face. Boom! With a loud noise, Jiraiya flew backwards. Ah! The huge movement here quickly alerted the female customers in the bathhouse. All of a sudden, everything was going crazy. A few minutes later, in the men's bathhouse, Might Guy apologized profusely. Jiraiya-sama, I thought it was some pervert who was peeping, but it turned out to be you. I'm very sorry. Hearing Might Guy's apology, Jiraiya's mouth twitched as half of his body was soaked in the hot spring. You are that guy Day's son, right? You're so old after not seeing him for a few years. Although Jiraiya has been traveling for several years. But Might Guy and Might wear exactly the same clothes, so they are very recognizable. Jiraiya recognized Might Guy immediately. After receiving Might Guy's confirmation, Jiraiya turned his attention to Yu and Shiranui Genma, who were also soaking in the hot spring opposite. Who are these two? They are my companions, Yu and Shiranui Genma. Might Guy introduced hurriedly. Yu. Jiraiya scratched his chin and thought for a moment, then looked at Yu and said, I heard from the 3rd generation that there is a space-time blood inheritance limit in the village, and it could be you. Right. Yu nodded, and then immediately put forward the real purpose of his coming here. Teacher Jiraiya, I want to go to Mount Myoboku to learn Sage Mode, and I need your introduction. Jiraiya didn't care. Yu called himself Teacher Jiraiya. In Konoha, younger ninjas call older ninjas, or a certain senior. For example, Yamato calls Kakashi Senpai. Either call a certain teacher, such as Uzumaki Naruto, Little Sakura, etc., call Might Guy Teacher Thick Eyebrows. What Jiraiya cares about is the second half of Yu's sentence. You want to learn Sage Mode. Learning Sage Mode requires not only talent, but also a huge chakra. Mount Myoboku does not prohibit humans from practicing, so Jiraiya did not show any resistance to Yu wanting to practice Sage Mode at Mount Myoboku. Beside the toad pond on Mount Myoboku, there are many stone toad statues. Those are the forerunners who failed to practice Sage Mode. How dangerous and difficult it is to practice Sage Mode. Jiraiya has experienced it firsthand. Therefore, he subconsciously wanted Yi Yu to retreat. But Jiraiya wasn't done yet. Yi Yu then burst out with a powerful chakra. Boom! I saw that a terrifying momentum, centered on Yi Yu, swept the entire place instantly. At this moment, Might Guy and Shiranui Genma, who were closest to Yi Yu, were both intimidated by the aura exuding from Yi Yu. This guy, such a huge chakra. Jiraiya's voice stopped suddenly, and he looked at Yi Yu seriously. The most basic requirement for practicing Sage Mode is that you are a practitioner, which requires a huge amount of chakra. Otherwise, the natural energy will completely swallow it up. Right now, Yi Yu showed off his terrifying chakra power. Jiraiya knows that Yi Yu has the qualifications to practice Sage Mode. But even so, Jiraiya is still not ready to agree to Yi Yu. He was busy, collecting materials, and had no time to take Yi Yu to Mount Myoboku. Your chakra level does meet the conditions for practicing Sage Mode. But I just returned to the village and was very busy. Jiraiya waved his hand and said. Yi Yu sighed. It seems that he has to use those 3 steps after all. He glanced at Might Guy and Shiranui Genma, who still looked like children. What follows is not suitable for children. So he used sound transmission into the secret. This is one of the upgraded abilities of spiritual technique, which can transmit sounds and images directly into the souls of others. Similar to the 4th Ninja War, Yamanaka Haichi directly conveyed the strategic deployment to the ninja coalition on the battlefield. Jiraiya-sensei, as long as you recommend it to me, I will teach you a ninjutsu that you are very interested in. Yi Yu's voice sounded directly in Jiraiya's mind. What ninjutsu am I interested in? Jiraiya curled his lips in disdain when he heard Yi Yu's message. In Jiraiya's opinion, after traveling for so many years, what kind of ninjutsu has he not seen? And Yi Yu is only half the age, what ninjutsu can interest him? But soon, the tea Jiraiya had just drank spurted out, and his breathing became heavier. Just because Yi Yu used the upgraded version of Lingua technique to send a video to Jiraiya. The content in the video is exactly the 3 steps Yi Yu took to defeat Jiraiya. Step 1. Use multiple shadow clone technique. Step 2. Use transformation technique to turn shadow clone into a beauty. Step 3. Let the beauty transformed by shadow clone rub your shoulders and legs. As a senior LSP, Jiraiya understood the true use of this ninjutsu the moment he saw this image. Let the beauties turned into shadow clone rub shoulders and legs. That's just childishness. Their real use is. You are really a genius. Jiraiya showed an expression of great admiration to Yi Yu, then rubbed his hands, and said to Yi Yu with a sleazy look, can you become like Tsunade? Jiraiya's words were spoken directly. However, before Jiraiya finished speaking, an angry female voice came from the air. Jiraiya, what do you want to do by making Yi Yu look like me? Looking around Xuanshang, he saw a woman with an extremely hot figure and rough waves in front of her walking over angrily. This woman is none other than Tsunade. Tsunade. Seeing that Tsunade came at this time and happened to hear his words, Jiraiya was so frightened. He knew how violent Tsunade was. Tsunade once broke several ribs because he was lazy in the women's bathhouse. He didn't want to get beaten by Tsunade again. Tsunade, this is a men's bathhouse. Jiraiya hurriedly spoke out to stop Tsunade from messing around. But Tsunade didn't care if this was a men's bathhouse. She and Jiraiya have known each other for such a long time, and she knows very well what kind of personality Jiraiya has. Although before Jiraiya finished speaking, she interrupted Jiraiya. But she still didn't know what Jiraiya's intention was in letting Yi Yu turn into her. Tsunade. Jiraiya was about to continue saying something when Tsunade punched him. As the granddaughter of the first Hokage, she is also the Grandmaster of Medical Ninjutsu. Her punch was no small matter. Boom! With a loud noise, the earth cracked and the entire hot spring pool was split into 2. Fortunately, Jiraiya dodged quickly, otherwise, he would have been in the hospital for several months if he hadn't been killed by this punch. Tsunade, calm down. Jiraiya hurriedly spoke out to persuade. I thought you would gain some strength after traveling abroad for so many years, but I didn't expect you would still be the same. Tsunade flies up and kicks again. Jiraiya dodged again, and Tsunade kicked the wall. The wall was like paper and collapsed in an instant. A few minutes later, Jiraiya calmed down Tsunade's anger after receiving a blow from Tsunade. It hurts, you're still the same. Jiraiya, who had a cotton swab stuck in his nose, grinned and complained to Tsunade. You deserve it. Who asked you to teach bad children? Tsunade crossed his arms and said domineeringly. Am I teaching bad children? Jiraiya heard Tsunade's words, glanced at Yu, and shouted that he was wrong. He wanted to explain that it was Yu who taught him to use the Shadow Clone plus transformation technique to transform into a beautiful woman. But seeing that Yu was only 12 years old, he knew that even his explanation would be useless. He could only sigh helplessly. Why did you come to me? Jiraiya knew that Tsunade couldn't just happen to be passing by, he must have come specifically to see him. And the actual situation is indeed as Jiraiya guessed. Tsunade came here specifically to find Jiraiya. As a result, when I arrived at the hot spring, I heard Jiraiya's heaven-defying remarks. Master Fukasaku from Mount Myoboku is here, he is with the teacher now. Fukasaku. Hearing this name, Jiraiya thought thoughtfully. Lord Fukasaku rarely leaves Mount Myoboku, what is he doing in Konoha? I don't know, you'll know if you go there. Tsunade spread his hands. At the same time, Yu's heart skipped a beat when he heard the name, Fukasaku. He knew that Fukasaku was in charge of screening practitioners at Mount Myoboku. If you can find Fukasaku, you can go directly to Mount Myoboku to participate in the trial. Immediately, Yu greeted Might Guy and Shiranui Genma, and followed Jiraiya and Tsunade towards the Hokage office building. Jiraiya knew why Yu was following him. He deliberately lagged behind Tsunade by a few positions and came to Yu's side. He lowered his voice and said to Yu, that ninjutsu you just mentioned. What are you muttering about? Tsunade paused and looked sideways at Jiraiya and asked. No, it's nothing. Jiraiya sneered. Soon, Yu, Jiraiya, and Tsunade arrived at the Hokage office building. I saw a sedan parked in front of the office building. Fukasaku, who had white beard and white eyebrows, was standing in the palanquin. Third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen was standing on the roof of the Hokage building. Below the Hokage building, there were many Konoha ninjas waiting. Seeing Yu, Jiraiya, and Tsunade approaching, Fukasaku greeted from afar. Little Jiraiya, you are finally here. Little Jiraiya, no one present felt anything wrong with Fukasaku's title. Jiraiya is already quite old among humans. But compared to Fukasaku, who is several hundred years old, he is indeed considered young. He calls Jiraiya Little Jiraiya, which is normal. Master Fukasaku, if you have anything to do, just let me know directly through the contact frog. Why bother to go there in person? Jiraiya came to stand in front of Fukasaku's sedan and spoke out. It's the order from Grandpa. Hearing Fukasaku's words, Jiraiya's expression changed. Before Jiraiya could speak, Fukasaku continued. Master Grandpa predicted that there will be a young man in Konoha village who will go to Mount Myoboku to practice. He asked me to pick him up. Jiraiya-chan, do you know of any boy in Konoha who wants to go to Mount Myoboku recently? As soon as Fukasaku finished speaking, Jiraiya's eyes flickered and fell on Yu who was walking behind. It can't be such a coincidence, right? This guy just told me that he was going to Mount Myoboku to practice Sage Mode, and Fukasaku-sama came to pick him up. And Yu was also stunned. But soon, he was relieved. He knew that the Great Toad Sage had the power of prophecy and must have predicted something. It's true that when you get sleepy, someone will give you a pillow. It seems like I can go directly to Mount Myoboku to practice Sage Mode without saying anything else. After Yu was relieved, surprise followed in his heart. Find Jiraiya yourself, find Fukasaku, just to get to Mount Myoboku. As a result, the people from Mount Myoboku were also looking for him. What is a surprise? This is a surprise. Lord Fukasaku, Johan just wanted me to take him to Mount Myoboku to practice. Jiraiya walked to Yu's side, put his hand on Yu's shoulder, and said to Fukasaku on the sedan. As soon as Jiraiya said this, all the Konoha shinobi, including 3rd Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen, set their sights on Yu. The person Fukasaku-sama is looking for is actually Yu. Yu is a genius to begin with. After he goes to Mount Myoboku to practice, he will probably become even stronger. Although the discussion among these Konoha shinobi was not very loud, Fukasaku, as a frog, still had pretty good hearing. All these words stopped in his ears. Konoha's genius. Let me see if you are the person that Grandpa predicted. The great toad sage simply said that there was a boy from Konoha who came to Mount Myoboku to train. But it did not describe the boy's appearance. In order to ensure that Yu is the person predicted by the great toad sage, Fukasaku needs to make some confirmation. What if there is another boy in Konoha village besides Yu who also wants to go to Mount Myoboku to practice, but Jiraiya doesn't know about it? The confirmation method is also very simple. He directly absorbs the natural energy in the air. He wanted to use Sage Mode's perception ability to check Yu's chakra amount. If Yu's chakra reaches the standard for practicing Sage Mode, then Yu is the person predicted by the great toad sage. On the contrary, Yu is not. After all, practicing Sage Mode requires a huge amount of chakra. And there is only one ninja with a huge chakra. Soon, Fukasaku entered Sage Mode. What a huge chakra! When Fukasaku sensed Yu's chakra, his heart suddenly shook. Over the past hundreds of years, Fukasaku has been responsible for selecting humans who come to practice at Mount Myoboku, and he has naturally seen many people with huge chakras. But Fukasaku has rarely seen chakra as large as Yohane's. With such a huge amount of chakra, if he can successfully enter Sage Mode, his Sage Mode will probably be more perfect than that of little Jiraiya. Jiraiya enters Sage Mode and needs the assistance of Fukasaku and Shima. This is not perfect Sage Mode. The perfect Sage Mode is to be in Sage Mode alone. Fukasaku looked at Yu and praised him secretly in his heart. Then he exited Sage Mode and said to Yu, "Xiao Yu, I have confirmed your chakra. You should be the person predicted by the great-grandfather. Since you also plan to go to Mount Myoboku to practice, then follow me to Mount Myoboku." Fukasaku suddenly remembered something again and added, "By the way, Xiao Yu, you haven't signed a contract with our Mount Myoboku yet, have you? Konoha is very far from Mount Myoboku, and it would take more than a month to walk there." In Fukasaku's opinion, if you want to get to Mount Myoboku quickly, use the reverse summoning technique. Just sign a contract with Mount Myoboku. Human ninjas can summoning Mount Myoboku's toad. The toad of Mount Myoboku can also reverse summoning human ninjas. Jiraiya and Uzumaki Naruto used the reverse summoning technique every time they went to Mount Myoboku. No need, I have the blood inheritance limit of time and space, I can rush over in an instant. Yohane knew that Fukasaku planned to use the reverse summoning technique to summon him to Mount Myoboku. But Yohane didn't want to be like Uzumaki Naruto, who was suddenly summoned by the reverse summoning technique while eating, and then ate a mouthful of bugs. He has space movement and can travel to Mount Myoboku instantly. Oh, you have the blood inheritance limit of time and space. If that's the case, then I don't need to worry about it. Fukasaku stroked his thin beard. In the original play, when Uzumaki Naruto went to Mount Myoboku, Fukasaku also performed a farewell ceremony, specially taking Uzumaki Naruto to the entrance of Konoha village and then used the reverse summoning technique. Now, Fukasaku also wanted to perform such a farewell ceremony for Yu, but Yu refused. He is different from Uzumaki Naruto. Uzumaki Naruto goes to Mount Myoboku, that is, food and accommodation at Mount Myoboku. Yu can use space movement to return to Konoha village anytime and anywhere. Besides, he couldn't get used to Mount Myoboku's bugs. In short, I must come back to Konoha to eat. After bidding farewell to 3rd Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen, Yohane activated space movement and disappeared in Konoha village. Yu's blood inheritance limit can actually teleport people. This blood inheritance limit is probably stronger than I thought. Fortunately, I kept Yu from Danzo. Sarutobi Hiruzen, who was standing on top of the Hokage building, was stunned as he looked at the place where Yu disappeared. Call out. Yohane, who disappeared in Konoha village, appeared again at Mount Myoboku. Xiao Yu, you were really fast. You actually arrived before me. Not long after Yohane appeared, Fukasaku and the few accompanying toads also returned to Mount Myoboku. Seeing that Yohane arrived at Mount Myoboku before he and others, Fukasaku couldn't help but said something casually. You come with me. Then, Fukasaku jumped up and down, leading Yu to the pond containing toad oil. The pool is surrounded by a large number of huge toad statues. These toad statues are all people who failed to practice Sage Mode. Fukasaku lived for hundreds of years and taught countless humans. Naturally, he also summed up a teaching model. Just like teaching Uzumaki Naruto, Fukasaku first introduced the origin of these toad statues to Yohane. Then he showed Yu the power of Sage Mode. Although Yu knew this, he did not interrupt Fukasaku. After introducing the dangers and power of Sage Mode, Fukasaku looked at Yu and continued, Xiao Yu, your chakra capacity is among the best among all the ninjas I have ever seen. Relatively speaking, you are swallowed by natural energy. The probability is smaller. Of course, it's just a little smaller, but you still can't be careless. Natural energy is very dangerous. If you are a little careless, these toad statues will be your end. The magic of chakra is to evenly mix your own chakra, spiritual energy, and natural energy. You are still unable to perceive the energy of nature. Xiao Yu, come with me. Fukasaku greeted Yu, and then jumped to the edge of the pool. In this pool is our Mount Myoboku's treasure passed down from generation to generation, toad oil. As long as you apply it on your body, the natural energy will be absorbed into your body, which can help you sense the natural energy. While talking, Fukasaku took out a wooden stick. Seeing the wooden stick in Fukasaku's hand, Yu's scalp suddenly felt numb. He knew the function of this stick. In the original drama, Uzumaki Naruto also experienced this step when he was practicing Sage Mode. First apply toad oil on the body, and then the natural energy enters the body through the toad oil. But natural energy is very difficult to control. As long as there is a little more, the body will transform into a toad form. At this time, you need to use the wooden stick in Fukasaku's hand to hit it hard to knock out the natural energy in the body, and the body will recover from the toad form. In other words, the wooden stick in Fukasaku's hand is used to hit people. Uzumaki Naruto was beaten with this wooden stick, and he was beaten very badly. If I had known earlier, I should have learned medical ninjutsu from Tsunade and mastered Muji self-healing. Yu thought to himself as his tooth ached. With Muji self-healing, his body can heal itself quickly after being injured. Fukasaku did not explain in advance the function of the wooden stick in his hand, but directly stretched his hand into the pool, dipped it in a little toad oil, and then smeared it on the back of Yu's hand. Judging from his posture, it seemed that he was preparing to tell Yu from personal experience what the wooden stick in his hand was used for. Yu himself has the ability to perceive. Although this ability cannot sense the natural energy in the air, the moment the toad oil was applied to the back of his hand, he sensed the chakra in his body and moved towards it uncontrollably. The place where the toad oil is applied gathers and disappears. Soon, Yu's entire palm turned into frog webs. Since Yu had known that this would happen, he did not yell after transforming into a frog, but looked at his palms very calmly. Fukasaku had been preparing to take action at any time. When he saw Yu's body beginning to transform into a frog, he didn't hesitate and drew the stick towards Yu. And Yu had long known that Fukasaku could hit, so he was on guard against getting hit in the face. At the same time, he also deliberately cancelled the upgraded elementalization of hydration technique. Although elementalization makes him immune to physical attacks, Fukasaku's attack cannot be avoided under any circumstances. Otherwise, he will be completely swallowed up by the energy of nature. Boom! Along with a clear and sweet hitting sound, the wooden stick in Fukasaku's hand hit Yu's arm. It wasn't that Fukasaku's hit was deflected, but that Yu deliberately used his arms to resist. After receiving this blow, the natural energy in Yu's body dissipated instantly, and Yu's palms that turned into frog webs also returned to human palms. Natural energy is very difficult to master. As long as you have a little more, your body will evolve in the direction of a toad. Fortunately, the chakra in your body is very large, and the evolution process will be relatively slow. Before you really turn into a toad, I will use the wooden stick in my hand to knock out the natural energy in your body and let you recover. When Fukasaku saw that Yu had fully recovered, he breathed a sigh of relief and explained to Yu. Fukasaku was explaining there, while Yu was grinning in pain. Although he caught Fukasaku's blow with his arm. But even so, hitting someone with that wooden stick really hurt. Yu Yu suspected that there was the magic chakra in the wooden stick. Otherwise, it would be impossible to hit him so painfully. At this moment, Yu Yu noticed that a shadow suddenly appeared above his head. Looking up, he saw a huge toad, comparable in size to a tailed beast, leaping towards this side. Yu Yu knows this toad. He is none other than Gamabunta. Boom! Soon, Gamabunta's huge body suddenly landed on the ground. Suddenly, smoke and dust were everywhere, and air waves were flying. Fortunately, Fukasaku turned on Sage mode, otherwise, with his weak body, he would definitely be blown away by the impact of this air wave. Boss, Shima-sama asked me to bring you lunch, Gamabunta said to Fukasaku while holding a huge pipe in his mouth. Ahem, cough, cough, when you come here, you can't make any noise. Although Fukasaku was not blown away by the air wave, the smoke and dust still covered his face. He coughed and scolded Gamabunta. But Gamabunta was indifferent. Xiao Yayu, we'll finish our morning practice here first. Let's eat first. The kids' food is still very delicious. While talking, Fukasaku spread out the lunches that Gamabunta had brought. Seeing the insects and pupae on the ground, Yu Yu's face turned a little blue. No, I'd better go back to Konoha to eat. Yu Yu waved his hand hurriedly, fearing that Fukasaku would be too polite and not give him a try. Perhaps for toads, these bugs and pupae are delicacies. But for human Yu Yu, his scalp felt numb when he saw it. Oh well, thinking that Yohane had the blood inheritance limit of time and space and could come and go freely between Konoha and Mount Myoboku, Fukasaku did not hold back. Then he started to feast. Yu Yu stopped staying and directly used space movement to disappear at Mount Myoboku. He was going to find Tsunade to have his arm healed, and then learn medical ninjutsu by the way. The blow with the wooden stick was really painful. And this is just the beginning. There will only be more beatings in the future. Yu Yu must take advantage of this opportunity to get rid of Muji's self-healing. As long as he continues to be injured, he continues to receive treatment and recovery. The body's recovery proficiency will continue to increase. When the recovery proficiency reaches the full level, it will be upgraded to a seal-free self-healing like First Hokage. With Muji self-healing, this beating is not in vain. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.